Welcome back to Warp Zone, a podcast on sci-fi, philosophy, religion, politics, gaming, and anything else. Review.
Taboo.
Get it? Review?
Oh yeah, review.
Yeah. Taboo.
Taboo.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's been a while.
It has been a while. This is our first episode that's in time, right? For a while.
Well, okay. All right. So it's a 2020 episode. Yeah. We should have put out an episode this morning, so we're still late.
Yes. Won't this go today?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, we will. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got nothing else, do we?
No, we've got nothing else to do.
No, you've got no other podcast.
Nothing else on my plate. It's fine. I can do it. It's all good. No, it's good to be back here in the Red Room again.
Yes. Is that new graffiti? BMX rocked my world, baby. It says 2015. Yeah, I never noticed it before.
Mark can check that because he would remember
the graffiti.
The graffiti. Yeah. There's still A&J loves. Well, they didn't like each other in 2010, scrubbed out, and then they're back loving each other
2015.
in 2015, 5 years later.
Woo!
Scratching that itch.
Alright, so we're going to do like a year in review.
That's really weird. Yeah. So, maybe just talk about what we did over the summer period. Mm-hmm. We can talk about the fires as well, because I think that's important. Mm-hmm. And that's got a lot of people angry, and a lot of people are just thinking about that. So
that's true.
I think we should talk about that, and then maybe talk about it for our international listeners. Yeah. Which are like over 40% of our listeners.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't think it was that high.
Yeah.
I guess if there's only 12 though, the data's going to be a bit skewed.
There's lots of spam.
It's just one American, it's like 40%.
There's lots of spam bots from the Cayman Islands.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first? Because I need a minute to collect my thoughts.
Think. Yeah.
I need to go scroll through my calendar.
Oh, really? Well, let's talk about the conference first, and then we can spark memories.
Yes, the conference was
a
smoky.
Yeah, so I drove up there and I had a cold, which was not a good idea because it was driving in smoke basically for 3 hours.
Yeah, it was really thick. I actually think Newcastle was the worst I saw it.
That was worse in my area.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, because it's like right
it's
there.
Closer.
Yeah, but then it was bad in Newcastle as well. But it smelled different. So it's like the different, like, obviously the different plants that are burning affects you different. But the one in my area is really coarse. Yeah. So I must be allergic to something that's burning. But yeah, I drove up there, and then I saw you there.
Yes.
You had your thing on the day before.
Oh yeah, my workshop.
Yeah,
it went well. I had a few speakers. I mean, Zoe, our friend Zoe Alberton spoke, Christopher Hartney, and there was another lady named Di Royson. It was really good. There wasn't as many people as I would have liked. I think there was only maybe like 10 other people there. I was kind of hoping for a HDR event to be a little bit more popular. But it
HDR is
a high degree research.
Yes.
Yeah, for the listeners.
So your thing was for students that are new into higher degree learning. Yeah.
So I would have just thought that the people that were there would have gone, but not everybody that was there went. But that's okay. And it was really, really good event. And then we had our talk, I think, the next day on the Friday, right? First up.
Yeah, first up.
And that
Australia. Well, after the keynote, but I missed the keynote. Yeah. And it was awkward because you couldn't go in.
I saw you kept walking past.
Well, I walked past twice, so I went to collect my name tag, and then I'm like, oh, so sorry, I'm like 5 minutes late. And they're like, yeah, it's okay. Because I tried to get a car park, and you can't get a car park anywhere.
It's really hard.
It's like CBD shit.
It's true.
I go up and get my name tag, and I'm like, oh, so I missed the first session, start, but can I sneak in? And they're like, yeah, it's fine, it's just through that door. And the door's right at the front, right next to the person that's speaking. Yeah. I'm not making that entrance. That's
no way.
Yeah, I'm not that charismatic.
Yeah. No, it's good. I tried to be a bit more social than usual. And I think that I made a couple of met some nice people, and it's just practice for me to be a schmoozer. I'm putting my schmooze on.
How many business cards did you get? Because we had a competition.
I think I only got one.
Oh, really?
How many did you get?
I got none.
But I wasn't really trying. You don't want to seem too desperate to meet people. You want to try and balance being a little bit desperate, but not too desperate. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just used it as an opportunity to catch up with people because I'd already been working in the shop for a week and a half.
It's true.
So it was like retail and then back to academia for 1 day, which was really weird. and then back to retail the following day.
But it was very comfortable. I mean, we had like 13 people or something that we knew, right?
Yeah.
So I tried not to just only talk to them because I'm like, I need to use this opportunity. I feel a bit of pressure when I'm at conferences to try and meet people.
Okay.
But hanging out with Zoe is always really good, though. She's always good for that kind of like an advisor role. I find her really helpful. She says she doesn't care. She just goes and like, okay. She doesn't try and network or anything. She's like, whatever. So I get that point of view as well. But I think it's good. You never know when those contacts are going to come and help you later.
Yeah. It was good for me because a lot of these people I would been emailing over the last year because of the volume that's coming out. Sydney. So a lot of those people I'd never actually seen a picture of even. I just knew them by name. And then, meeting them, it was funny because you think that, certain people are older or younger or, and then you're thrown by their appearance. So that was good. And then we had our presentation together. So there was myself, you, Jerry and Ray, former hosts.
Guests.
We're the hosts. Yes, former guests of this podcast.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good talk.
We planned to go negative to positive, yeah?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Like, the succession of
yeah.
So it starts with Ray talking about the dark web.
You changed your scope a little bit.
I kind of did.
Yeah.
So, Ray
Which
about
I wasn't aware.
And then there was you with Lizard Man.
Yeah, David Icke.
Mm-hmm. Then there was me about the shooting.
I always thought you were talking more about banter and like kind of the lols, like meaning more like not so much about the shooting.
Yeah, no, so the shooter, I said the shooter of Christchurch did not do it against Muslims.
It wasn't very light.
He did it because he wanted to do it for the lols, and then I went into a little bit of an exposition of how I personally have been bullied online. So that brought the mood of everyone completely down, which was great. Yeah. And then we went through to Jerry, who's like, religion on the internet, people try to get along.
Yeah, it wasn't didn't quite work, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think, actually yours was probably more positive, but I think mine was more negative than Ray's, to be honest. Yeah.
I think so too. But that's okay. I thought some of the talks were really good in the whole conference and others were not very good.
Yeah, the last one...
I won't name names.
Well, the last one, the keynote, I was really excited about that, but it ended up just being lists. I think people write a paper and it's too big for the conference, so then they end up just, doing dot points and then having to skip sections, and it becomes really disjointed.
Yeah. And I haven't got time to that, and they're flicking through 8 slides. You're like, what are you doing? Yeah, I agree. And I also think older academics get a bit complacent. They don't try and write a good presentation. They just try and convert a good paper into a presentation. They do it 2 days before. Whereas I guess younger people are often stressing about it, so they spend a lot more time.
That's right.
Which both methods work, but I do think putting a bit more effort in your presentations make it a lot more entertaining for the audience. But same with another one did it. They'd written a whole book and then they'd written just a small paper from it, and then I had all these issues with it because it was just they were making huge sweeping statements, but no one put their hands up afterwards to kind of pull them up on it. And I was too nervous, but I went up to them afterwards and I was like, "This is the things I had my problems with your paper," but in a nice way. And he was like, "Yeah, it's because it was a book," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Okay.
But that was for me. I'm getting more confident each time, and I think next. In New Zealand, I'm going to be hopefully more confident.
Yeah, so we've got that in 2020. Yes. So maybe we talk about what we want to do in 2020.
Yes.
So let's go more on 2019.
2019.
Yeah. So that was academic stuff at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then since we actually recorded our last podcast, because we've got some pre-recorded stuff, and we'll continue to drip feed that out.
Well, we've got no more pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah, we've got 2 more.
Do we?
Yeah.
Which ones?
It doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Alright. And Christmas period.
Yes. I went to Byron. We drove. We drove a lot, actually. I think our whole 2 weeks we just drove.
Because I speak to you and you're like, "Hey, I'm driving up here now. My car's going to die. And now I'm here, and now I'm going to drive here." I'm like, "Okay."
And they swapped cars.
Then
you a new car.
I got a new car. I'm a Bogan now.
Yeah. So basically, we drove to Tamworth to see Tom's parents.
Yeah, and your car was going to die then.
Yeah, we thought our car might die. Yeah. Because we thought it was a ball bearing or something. I don't know. Not a ball bearing.
Joint.
No, the wheel. The
wheel drive.
Wheel bearing. I don't fucking know. Don't care. But it was making like a
it's a really bad
noise.
thing, because then the axle couldn't actually snap.
Yeah, so, and then my friend had just told me before we left that her whole wheel, like her whole bottom had fallen off. So I was a bit nervous. But Tom had taken it for a service like 2 weeks ago. Asked them to check it, but we don't ever know. This is the thing with the mechanics. We don't ever know if they've actually checked it. Like they've ticked everything off, but did they check it? Like so, we were a bit unsure and a bit sort of shaky on it. But you know, we drove to Tamworth, spent 2 days there. Then we drove to Byron and we spent time there. And then I went to my dad. I was like, oh, I think we're going to get a loan for a ute because Tom's been really hanging out for a proper ute. My dad's like, oh, I don't think you should go into more debt. My friend's coming over today to sell his ute for $1,500. Do you want to look at it? I'm like, yes, I want to look at it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so he brought it over, and it's a Ford Falcon 2009 model, has quite a few Ks, like 300,000 Ks, which is quite a lot of Ks.
That's a lot of Ks.
Yeah, but he'd bought it for $4,500 6 months ago. So either way, we're kind of like, well, should be fine.
1,500 is a good
it's automatic, has like a cabby, whatever that is. So we were pretty happy, and it goes really well. It's gas as well, so that's often a little bit cheaper sometimes.
Worse for the environment. It's good. Fracking.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's. I think the engines are stronger too. It's a V8. It's a V8 engine.
V6 or V8?
V8, I think. So it's more powerful. I don't know. Anyway, it's good. So we drove that, and then we drove to Woodford. So we drove to Brisbane, and then to past Brisbane to Woodford. We went 2 days to the Woodford Folk Festival. Then we drove back to Byron, back to Tamworth to see Tom's parents again, and back home.
What? Why'd you go back again?
Tom wanted to see his parents again, I think. It's only an extra 2 hours along the route. So instead of it just being like, I think it's 5 or 6.
Yeah. You go off 2 and then back.
But we need somewhere else to stay anyway. I don't like to do that whole trip in one day. It's a bit too long, because I think it's about 9 hours or something.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to stop, and it's sort of halfway, even though it's a detour.
Yeah, right.
That was the thinking behind it, but we were pretty wrecked on the weekend, just trying to recover.
This weekend passed? Or the weekend, you mean when you came back?
We got back on Friday.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay.
Let me check my calendar.
That's all right. So New Year's, where were you then?
At Woodford.
All right.
Yeah, so no, we did get back on Friday.
Yeah, right.
So that's why we're still been a bit kind of zonked. The festival was good. I'm getting a bit old. We slept on a hill. A bit old for sleeping on a hill.
Yeah.
But that was probably the best part, sleeping on the hill. It was just it was really nice because we watched the sunrise. That's my favourite way to start the year.
Do you like any of the music there?
Yes, International Folk Festival. I love it. It's all like fiddles and
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't like a normal kind of like new music festival, but this is all international folk music, so it's specialised. There was like a Balkan band and blah blah blah. So it was awesome.
Balkan band.
Yeah, there was Balkan bands.
What's Balkan folk music like?
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a band called like the Boban Orchestra, which I actually had already liked, and they were there, and it was really exciting.
That's cool.
They do this whole like boom boom boom. They do like cool. There's like 12 people, and they didn't speak any English, so we just start speaking in what did I say they were from?
Balkans?
Balkan. Oh, Bulgaria. Whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, that's enough.
But he kept just speaking no English. He'd be like, how's it going? And everyone's like, yay! So it was quite fun, but cool. Then on the second it was so hot. So we were going to stay for the closing ceremony, but it was too hot. So we just drove home. Spent one night in Byron and then drove to Tamworth and to Sydney.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Still recovering. How about you? How was your Christmas? I saw you the Vassalopita. Didn't make me one. Didn't bring it in.
No, I'm going to make some more for the Australia Day long weekend. Because I don't get a chance to do it. So if I still have the shop next year, which I assume I will, or this year, I'm just not even going to try and do it on the 31st of December. I'm just going to do it for Australia Day long weekend now.
Wait, are you saying that it's too hard around Christmas to make the Vassalopita?
So from a week before Christmas.
Do you want to explain to the audience that might not know what a Vassalopita is?
Okay, so it's St. Basil's bread. And my grandmother and I had a disagreement this year. So it's a bread where you put a coin in it and then you cut the Vassalopita, or pita means bread, cake. Vassal or basil, so Basil's cake. So it's a cake. Now, the story is that St. Basil the Great, from Caesarea, or Basil of Caesarea, an army was going to come to Caesarea. So he asked all of the people of Caesarea to take up some coinage or some money and give them to him so that he could either raise an army or pay it as a payment off for that other army, right? He earned all of the funds in one day, without a question. He's just a really influential guy. You know, Basil the Great. You can't be more influential than the Great, yeah? And the army knew that the people of Caesarea weren't going to give up, that they were really attached to St. Basil, so they just left. And Basil then had a problem, because he has all of this money, and how does he return it to people? So he decides, well, he's going to make breads and put money in them and give them to the people. And miraculously, every person who got the bread got the exact same money that they gave into his fund.
Oh, so it's a miracle.
Back. Yeah, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Now, that's the story, so it's money. Now, my grandmother's like, no, it's jewelry. I'm like, what do you mean it's jewelry? She's like, yeah, I read, it's just jewelry that they gave. I'm like, why would they give jewelry to give to an army? That doesn't make any sense. It was money.
No, they wanted to wear it.
Yeah. She's like, no, they put... And then my sister puts up a video about what the Vassalopter is, and the video says that they put money and jewelry in. So
it was a bit of a Christmas miracle.
We may both be wrong and right at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's Basil's bread. So as someone from a Greek family, we make the Vassalopter every New Year's, and we cut it on New Year's Day, and I always cut it with my grandmother. And I've been making it now for the last 4 years. So I always do another one for Australia Day long weekend as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this year I've got Jack and Isaiah on my own on the Friday before Australia Day long weekend. So I'll just make breads that day and cook.
And make it vegan for me.
I will make it vegan for you.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you can eat egg, right? That's okay.
Yeah. So
anyway.
You've been swamped at the shop, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so a week and a half before the conference,
yeah,
I was in the shop from every day from then up until Saturday just passed.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Not enough staff?
Well, the shop, because of the fires, which I think this can link into the next discussion, my area has had a lot of smoke in it, and every smoke-filled day, we are doing half of the trade that we did the previous year.
Shit.
So it's been the worst December ever for the shop.
Can you apply for the government things?
No.
Nothing like that?
No.
Isn't there... I heard on the radio about small business something. Maybe.
Yeah, if your business burnt down.
Oh.
Yeah.
No compensation,
No.
nothing.
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I bet there's been... Oh, can you imagine all the businesses in like Kangaroo Island and stuff?
Or imagine every single business everywhere.
On the South Coast.
Yeah. It's millions and millions of dollars that have been cut out of the economy because people are just not spending money. So after Christmas, what I've found is...
But hang on, why would you still have had to go to work if there are not many people coming in? Couldn't you just have had one or two staff members?
Because I can't afford to have the people there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was bleak.
It's been really bad, yeah. So the problem is then, I couldn't max out the hours for people because I didn't know how busy it was going to be. And I was trying to save money this year anyway to pay down debts and stuff from previous years. So it's been pretty shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a scale of maybe 7 months ago or something, it was really shit.
This is the worst.
This is worst.
This is the worst it's ever been. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you were hoping Christmas was meant to bring heaps more revenue.
30% down from last year.
Damn. And normally this is you go better around this time, right?
Yeah.
This is your best time.
This is the best time. And it was just all completely wiped. Every smoke-filled day, 50% trade from the previous year.
Shit.
Yeah.
Has the smoke gone away now?
No. Still smoky, still smells.
Is everybody else in the plaza finding it the same?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone.
That sucks.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
There was smoke inside MacArthur Square.
Oh, really?
You could not see it. It was brown smoke inside the centre.
Shit.
It was really bad. The first day, the Tuesday before...
Would you have been better just to close?
No, you can't. Because then I've got all the stock that I've ordered. So you've ordered all this stock to try and sell the stock. So you have to stay open. Every day the centre is open, you have to open it. So there are some positive linings. So I'm looking at doing a new POS system. We're looking at doing some new trade stuff with cards.
Is that going to make a difference?
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to be up Struggle Street more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are you going to sell it?
No. I don't think so. No. But yeah, shit. So I think, like, I haven't lost my house because of the fire. And yeah, we got evacuated 3 times. So 2 of those times, well, one of those times it was myself and Jody home. No, I wasn't home. All 3 of the times I wasn't home. So my wife is like 7 months pregnant, dealing with getting Isaiah out of the house, 2 cats, and evacuating 3 times. And then I've got the shop going on at the same time, but we haven't lost our house. The people we know, like in the area, have lost houses. And it's been
How many homes got lost, do you know? In Wollondilly?
It's 20 odd, I think, that's affected by the Wattle Creek fire we're talking about.
Yeah.
Which is nowhere near my house. Wattle Creek is very far away.
Well, because it's such a big stretch, right? 'Cause it's going all the way up to the Blue Mountains, right?
Yeah.
It's tickling Katoomba, and then the other fire's coming up and getting Katoomba from the other side.
Yeah, so you're right. Southern part of Katoomba, all the way down now to Mittagong, it's joined up with that fire. That's a big area.
Yeah, pretty much all my newsfeed has just been fires. And it's been smoky, and we drove through a lot of it as well, around Tamworth, and we drove through a lot of, like, burnt out areas, not obviously fire areas.
We've had helicopters over our house all the time, because the oval behind us is where the helicopters land. So we're constantly hearing helicopters and planes go over and dropping water and stuff, and that pink...
Oh yeah, the pink stuff.
Pink stuff.
Tom would know.
Retardant, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not been good. ScoMo.
I'm enjoying all the ScoMo memes, have you?
Yeah. Okay, so I was mayor for a year.
Yeah.
And there was a fire that started 2 months into me being mayor. So
wait, hang on. Did you not go to Hawaii at that time?
I did not go to Hawaii. So my first reaction when the fires were happening in Yandera, it affected, and it burnt all the way up to Wilton. So it's quite a large stretch. I drove into the fire area that day and saw, like, what people were going through and how people were getting out, and I was watching to see what the RFS were doing on the ground and what my council workers were doing. I then drove back to the control centre, and I sat at that control centre then for 4 days and basically did not sleep during that period. I can't understand how a leader can go. And I know, like, I was not trained with the RFS. I trained with the RFS for a very little period of my life. Yeah. But, I was not RFS person, but it was just being a leadership role. If the media asks you questions, or, you need to front face people, or you're just there to talk to residents. As well. Yeah.
And offer assurance. And
just there to talk to residents going, this is really crap. Or if something goes wrong underneath your purview, so underneath, the council workers, if there is some issue there, I know who to talk to.
Yeah.
I know which of the managers there. I don't understand.
I mean, even if Scott Morrison wasn't even available to do all those things, just being around and being human and being natural. There's something about his total demeanor that is putting people off. You know what I mean? Like, he could have come back from Hawaii. He could have come back okay. I don't think it was, like, people were pissed off.
Yeah.
But then this constant, like, going on that media tour around that time, and
well, this is the thing. Jody said that it's really weird to see him in a suit.
Yeah.
Like, if it was Turnbull...
Yeah, or even Tony Abbott putting a little hat on. You got to dress up.
Well, Abbott actually is in an RFS brigade.
Exactly.
So that's different. But Turnbull is not in an RFS brigade. He's not trained that way. But he would wear a polo shirt. He'd wear appropriate clothes. And he would then get down on the ground and talk to the people.
Yeah.
Like he...
just swan in. Like, how insensitive.
It's really weird. Like, turning up like... And then the worst thing... Out of the whole thing... Like, he's done some pretty bad things... The worst thing is the direction from his office saying that Gladys Berejiklian was offered help and that refused it is just BS. It's bullshit.
Gladys, at least, I mean, every footage I have seen of Gladys, because we have been watching a lot of news, we've been listening to Radio National all the time at the fire reports. Everything I heard Gladys say or speak, she seems genuine.
Yeah.
She seems actually upset.
Yeah. And she's been with the Fire Control Commissioner, Fitzsimmons, the entire time. Every single press conference she's there, 7 days a week, no matter what. And she's this is what she's like, and what I tried to tell you, 6 months ago. She's a really hard worker. Think what you like about Gladys.
Yeah.
She's a hard worker. You can't fault her for that. She makes some bad decisions sometimes, and she's on a different side of politics.
Yeah, but she seems human,
She is human, and she feels... Morrison just doesn't seem to be able to portray that. And then also the release of then the Army Reserves and the Air Force, but then not telling the Commission, and the Commissioner going, great, now I hear about it in a media conference.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit weird.
And it's always a bit late, so, like, because, I mean, from the very beginning, people, Anthony Albanese was asking for compensation for the fires that were gone, right?
Yeah.
That was his idea.
Yeah.
And so, and then like, weeks later, or, like, he's like, oh, finally, so the whole time he was, Scott Morrison was like, no, they don't need it, blah, 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 and then suddenly he changes his tune. Changes it, and then it was same with the people saying deploy the army, and then suddenly weeks later he's like, oh, I'll deploy the army. Like, it just feels like he's really coming, like, late to the kind of the party, and then, even making comments about the cricket. Like, anybody gives a shit about the cricket. Do you see that? It's like, oh, we should all just focus, try and think positively and focus on the cricket. And people are like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And the handshake things are weird.
Oh, grabbing people's hands. And,
He's done that with, like, 3 different people. No one wants to shake his hand.
Yeah, it's bad.
Did you watch the RFS guy being in the truck being like, fuck you, ScoMo? Like, did you see it? He lost his job because he was in full RFS uniform.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. And you're just not allowed to, Tom was explaining that you're just really not allowed to be as politically, like, active wearing uniform. Same if you're in the fire brigade.
Yeah.
When
That's why Abbott hides behind other people. When he was an elected member, people would go away and get photographed in the uniform. It's because he didn't want to be, and he couldn't, like,
you're not meant to, right?
Yeah, so his, the people on his brigade would sit between him on the truck or in front of him and then stop photographs being taken in.
Oh, yeah.
But then the media would go, he's avoiding photos.
Yeah. It's the rules.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to politicise the armed forces or any of the...
It's the same,
services.
when I was saying people were handing out, I was telling Tom, like, it's just so wrong that the fire brigade can hand... He's like, were they in full uniform? And I'm like, no, if they're in their union uniforms, they can do what they want.
Yeah.
But they can't be wearing their full fire brigade uniforms.
Some of them wear the pants.
Yeah.
And then they change their shirt.
Yes,
and they go,
exactly.
oh, no, that's my casual pants.
Yeah.
It's just...
Tom said he reckons at RFS you could still wear your RFS pants as long as it's shirt's different.
Yeah.
It's all about uniform representing
That's
the
right.
job. But anyway, I just think that it's really weird to watch. I think if he'd just shown a bit of empathy and kindness in those moments, people would have been able to tell, and it would have been different, but he's just really not. And there's the whole issue of him not maybe getting the resources as quickly and him being in Hawaii. I mean, it's also weird to go in Hawaii. I mean, the fires were still definitely happening then.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Yeah, the Greenwater Creek.
Did you see, I saw another woman that was in the cabinet being interviewed and they were like, did you go overseas? Were you in Bali? She's like, I was in Bali. I was like, I think they were hoping for somebody to be like, she also went to Bali as well. So it's just bad luck for them all.
Yeah.
I just want to know who his media team are and who's his public relations person and why they're doing such a bad job.
Well, the reality is that a lot of them are just whales, so young lips,
right.
and it's just...
They're not very smart.
No, that old guy, like you need someone like, some of the old, staffers inside Howard's office, they were like proper stalwarts, working for the party for 20 years before they get to be, leading an office. And now you've got these young guard that have come through and they just don't have that on the ground work. The same problem with the Labor Party as well. This is why they make so many gaffes. Yeah. You need like a little war room basically in your office where you can actually think about these things and think them through.
Totally. I mean, I've heard people on the left say that they reckon Tony Abbott would have handled it better. They reckon Malcolm Turnbull would have handled it better. I mean, ScoMo is so on the nose now. Do you think there'll be a spill?
Not before March. There can't be.
Is that when election?
No.
What's happening in March?
Well, that's when the fire season will be done.
Okay.
And he's called for a royal commission, or not a royal commission, but what's it called when all the states come together?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big meeting.
Yeah, so that's going to be happening around March. Mm-hmm. So maybe that might get some of the media attention away.
I don't know. I think he'll find it hard to recover from this. It wouldn't surprise me if they swap him out for somebody else.
But you would not want to take leadership now.
No.
Like, no member of Parliament will want that position.
Peter Dutton.
Right now. Except Peter Dutton. He probably would want it.
I've heard he's next in line, right?
He doesn't have the numbers, I don't think.
Yeah. I don't know.
The far right doesn't have the full numbers, but yeah.
I feel like attacking Gladys was a really, really bad move because she's looking pretty good, frankly, like in media and everything, and to then say that they've offered assistance and she refused it is just so wrong.
And it's a lie.
Yeah.
It's just an outright lie. And like for Commissioner Fitzsimmons to come out and go, that's bullshit. Show us the evidence. Yeah. Like this.
Why would they have done that? Like, why are they trying to point fingers? I mean, they're in the same party.
They're not in the same faction.
Yeah. Oh, really?
One's left, one's right.
Yeah.
So Gladys is left, and he's on the right. And also, there's other members that have stood out and attacked at the moment. But yeah, the fires is shit. So just more broadly, off the politics, fires are massive, and they're not going to go away for it's like another 2 months or something for summer.
The fatigue of, you must find it being close, but even being not close to it, just feeling the same level of like, and just feeling like each day you wake up, another state is having the same problems. I mean, it's like
keep putting
national.
fireboxes into the car and out of the car. In and out, like it's constant, and it's getting draining. So now we've got our fireboxes inside the cupboard on the left-hand side. As soon as they get in the house. So now they're on the ground, just inside there underneath our shoes, just so I don't have to keep getting them from the bloody top of the cupboard. Because I just have to keep loading them into the car.
It's awful.
It's crap.
Do they think that, I mean, they've downgraded Water Creek quite... Yeah. I mean, I think all in New South Wales have all been downgraded, but it's all whether the hot temperatures come back.
And then this Friday is going to go up again.
Yeah.
Behind my house, so we've got the Thomia Lakes, which is dried. So it's called the Thomia Lakes. There's no lakes there anymore. Simon, my brother-in-law, walked across there the other day, and there's just no moisture.
Is there normally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for about, I think, 15 million years or something, or 10 million years. Yeah. So it's been there for a long time, and there's nothing there now. Anyway, so it's a funny area actually because the water there flows both ways in the Thomia Lakes.
Okay.
So it's a river that flows both ways. So it's a lake system which would have gone one way, and then there's been some land movement, and the water table has actually levelled out. So it's just sort of gone back and forth in this system for millions of years. Anyway, dry now. So there's sponges and stuff that are all dead there. So behind my house, we've got that bushland that goes all the way up to Mount Hunter, across down to Mittagong area. All of that's unburnt and has not been burnt since 2001, and it is dry as hell.
So they're worried that could...
Yeah, if there's any spark there, it's gone. So yes, they've got back burning between where Greenwater was and outside, but the rural villages of Thelmere, Picton, parts of Tarmore still are at risk there. And I'd imagine if my area's at risk that way, look all the way down to Balmoral, Mittagong, all of that area. There's all bushes everywhere. There's trees in everyone's properties. And it's so dry that any spark can start up this. It's not good.
It's not good. I was watching the news 2 days ago, something with Tom, and they were doing that footage of someone driving past all the kangaroos that had tried to escape fires on both sides, and it said, like, the news reporter's like, okay, now if you need to turn away, it's going to be quite sensitive, and Tom's like, don't look, and he covers TV. I'm like, no, it's fine. And they show the footage of it, it's really blurry, you can't really see anything anyway, and I'm like, no, it's fine. And then he looked over, I'm like bawling, because it's just like, even though the footage wasn't bad, I just imagining all those animals in those final moments fleeing for their lives. It's just so horrible.
Yeah, they can't do anything. Oh, the thing about not just native animals, but cattle, sheep.
I know.
And now there's teams
mass burials. And...
Well, there's teams of vets going around and having to put down animals that are still alive but can't survive. Yeah. It's crazy that the amount. Then we've got people missing. Another, I got an alert just before. Another 2 people are missing in New South Wales. There's still people on beaches in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
I know, I gotta stop. And when they say the figures of the hectares burning, I just can't even.
Yeah, you can't.
It's like, was it 100 million or something hectares?
Ridiculous.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's huge. It's
such a big number. Than UK,
it's bigger
right?
Than, something like that. The area inside Victoria that was burning was half the size of Belgium on its own, and then you've got all the area.
Because WA as well, right? So pretty much every state except for the Northern Territory.
No, Northern Territory has some small fires as well. Yeah, so
there's not much probably to burn.
Well, there's not. But at one point, think it was 2 weeks ago, you had fires in Tasmania all the way up to North Queensland. So it was the entire east coast had fires constantly burning.
Horrible.
One big fire front. I don't believe Jeremy Clarkson's right, saying that this is God's way of saying people shouldn't live in Australia. He got in real big trouble for that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, if you do you think there's anyone to blame or anything? Other than global warming. And don't say the Greens.
No, I don't. I don't think the Greens are the problem. I think that some people in the RFS had an opportunity to burn in the winter months. And this is the management, and they made a call saying that the factors aren't right. We don't have the numbers on the ground, and we can't backburn. Well. However, even if they could backburn at that point, the size and the magnitude of the fires, I don't think that actually would have made too much of a difference. It could have saved some property, but certainly not the properties that have been lost now. There is no moisture in the air, and there is no moisture on the ground. Years and years ago, there was the potentiality of building desal plants and actually filling up the dams with more water. I think that could have done something in hindsight. But it's still, like, you can't get out hoses and water the Blue Mountains National Park. I saw an interesting, one of the climate change scientists maybe 10 years ago writing about the year they expected the fires to start getting quite really, really bad. It was 2020. It's crazy how much this stuff has been predicted as well. Yeah. Anyway, I just hope that the government is forced to have a bit more drastic measures on climate change. I do think that'll be. I mean, it's probably too late, but better than nothing. I mean, they keep saying we're meeting our targets, but it's not a very good target anyway. Yeah, well, it's an international effort. It needs to be taken. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think that there is certainly a need for more backburning. There needs to be more mitigation of bushland close to houses. I think, a lot of people in the Blue Mountains, they have lovely backyards that, back onto escarpments and stuff, but that's putting their house at risk.
Yeah.
So they should be paying higher insurance than other people. Because they're putting at risk RFS and emergency service personnel.
What do you think of the idea of combining, this was an interesting thought I thought as well, I talked to a few people saying maybe combining RFS and Fire Brigade to be the same institute.
Oh, yeah.
That also I think would help. I think there's quite a bit of miscommunication between them as well. Some people might be doing that area, but they'll both get called to the same fires.
So the unions,
they won't want that. They don't want two commissioners. Yeah. I mean, they don't want one commissioner for.
That's right. Yeah. So there was that exact thing came up in Picton when there was going to be a new retained fire station built.
Yeah.
And they had the potential of putting the RFS on the same land.
Yeah.
Unions didn't want to borrow it.
No, I know.
Because they've got their retained fireys sitting there waiting for the call, getting paid. And then you have volunteers sitting at home going, woo, let's go, because, we're getting the call. And they're happy to do it. So they don't want their retained fireys to be cut.
Yeah. It's pretty cutthroat, those sorts of things. I get it, but I do think for management, because also there's so many skills that the fire brigades could help with as well, and certain different equipment. I mean, the level of training is a lot higher. And the RFS, a lot of them are volunteers. It's not always their full job. Sometimes you have people who are 70 trying to do it. You know what I mean? I think working together would, and then they have been. But I think something like that might be a good idea. I don't know. We're probably not going to solve it today.
I like out of all of it, the beginning of December. No, it might have been end of November. There were lots of people coming from overseas fire brigades.
Oh yeah, we've got Canada.
So a Canadian firefighter was interviewed, and they're like, so what do you think you're going to be, here on the fire grounds? He's like, I'm just keen to help, anything that I can do. And they're like, so you'll be working with the RFS, the volunteers? And he's like, what? And they said, the volunteers. And he goes, what do you mean volunteers? And he was just confused about the concept of RFS, what that actually means. Because the fire threat in Canada is very different. And so you've got smaller brigades, more brigades, and they're all retained firefighters. And then you have different management, like park rangers, and that's a really big thing for them to pay for there. But he was just confused about the whole concept of there being volunteer people out there fighting fires. Which is very cute. I think funny. Canadian firefighter.
What else? Anything else interesting happen in the break?
I fixed my Sega Naomi cab, which is cool. Yeah, so I have a new arcade cabinet, which I don't know if I spoke about previously.
I took a picture of my new car.
Oh, yeah. It's like a station... it's not a station wagon, like a panel van.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, so people from the 70s, Mark.
That's the bedroom.
That's your bed.
And that's a cat.
And that's your cat. Actually, I saw a picture of your 2 cats yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
And one... Well, they both have the same length tail.
Tom sent you that, didn't he?
Yeah, but one is how old?
Well, how old is he now? 3 months?
Yeah, and the other one?
Maybe 2 years?
Yeah. So Thomas O'Malley, the guy that has no neck, also has no tail.
It's true.
But it's not cut off. He just has...
his stumpy tail.
His stumpy tail. And I've got a theory. So I think the wider his neck has grown, it's sucked out all of the skin from his tail. So it's like this
It's
thing.
possible.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, he's a funny cat.
Yeah. So no tail.
No. What were you saying before? Sorry.
No neck.
Your cab. I stopped listening.
Arcade cab. Yeah, I got an arcade cab.
Yeah.
That's been cool. I learned how to fix a monitor chassis over the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do, on the back of a CRT, like an old style computer monitor, like the really big ones.
Like the one we brought to 89 that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you open that up, there's like a wire that goes to the back of the tube. And the tube's like this really big thing, right? The voltage that can be held inside that is like 20,000 volts. So over the December, I'm like, okay, Jody, I need to take out this board from inside the back of that arcade cabinet because I need to send it away to get fixed because it wasn't working. I'm like, look, I've watched videos on how to do it. It'll be fine. I just need you awake when I do it. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, nothing's going to happen. She's like, well, something could happen. If you're asking me to be awake, like I'm pregnant, I can't believe you're going to do this. Like, I don't want you to die. I'm like, no, it's fine. So then when we go into the garage, then I'm like, yeah, just hold my wedding ring just in case. She's like, what do you mean? And then like
freaking out.
Yeah. So I got behind there and
hang on, but the power's off, right?
Yeah, it still holds voltage.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's amazing. Yeah. So I got in there like with a screwdriver and there's this tool that you have to make, basically a screwdriver, a wire, and then a clip. So I did that and like I did it and it clicked, which means the voltage was then discharged. And then I'm like, yeah, right, okay, now I'm pulling it apart. So it's all good. So now I know how to do it and I've done it now 3 times.
So you didn't get electrocuted?
No, but it's awesome. So now I can play with like boards that have got like a high amount of voltage and actually fix them and stuff. So,
jeez.
Yeah. So I changed my chassis board and stuff and the monitor looks really good now.
That's good.
It's cool to like, that cab, I've restored the buttons, the panels, all of the wiring I fixed myself, and now the chassis. So it's like an arcade machine, and it looks like it's new from the front. And I've done everything on it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you get to see it when you come out.
Yeah, I
on
will.
The Australia Day long weekend.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
Yeah, but it's cool to fix something like that. Like, it's been not much time I've been able to play games over the December period, but just those little, a couple of minutes of doing that stuff is cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been playing my Switch a lot.
Yeah, so you've been playing Pokemon. We should talk about that.
Oh, yeah, I finished that, and then been playing Super Smash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know there was like a journey mode, so I've been doing that.
Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was all just fighting, but I think I was playing offline. You maybe have to be online to do the other part.
No.
I didn't. I couldn't find it.
You can unlock different things. Yeah.
I've been doing that. It's pretty fun. It's been good. Nothing else that exciting, really. I think of things to tell you later, but I can't think of it all now.
And we're back to trivia tonight at 1989.
Yep, that's right.
Can't wait to see that guy go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Between
Love that
round
guy.
2 and 3.
Yeah. He has to do number 2 and number 3.
Yeah. Comes out, has to go to the toilet with his phone.
Yep.
Yeah, runs out before the sheets are collected.
And I told you that I saw one of the guys from 89 at the bar. That was
yeah.
Crazy
Yeah, that was
thing.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you look familiar. Liam? And he's like, yeah.
That's pretty funny. Did he remember you?
I don't think so. But once I said, so you remember 89, but like, they knew that I knew him, but whether he knew, he's pretty vague.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does or doesn't know.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Working in a bar in Newcastle.
There you go. Living the life.
Living the life.
Newcastle's a weird place.
That's true.
So, this year, what's our hopes and dreams?
50,000 words. At least.
At least. I thought it was going to be the full thing.
Yeah, but I've already
words.
written 10.
So when we were walking here to record this, Tara and I, like as context for the listener,
Yes.
Tara said, "Yeah, I'm just going to write the whole thing."
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's already dropped 30,000
I probably
words.
need to do more than that. But 2,000 words a week, how many words does that add up to?
It depends how many weeks.
Let's say 52.
That's a lot.
2,000
you don't need 52 weeks.
52. Whoa, it's 100,000 words.
Yeah, you don't need that.
I'm going to try and write between 50 and 100,000 words. I feel like giving myself a smaller goal, 50,000 sounds a bit more doable than 75. I mean, that's like this crazy number. It makes me scared. 50,000 is not so scary.
Yeah. So my aim is 20,000.
Yeah.
And to do 2 papers.
Yep.
And to continue teaching and doing other stuff as well.
Yep.
Doing that at the moment. No, I'm not teaching. I'm doing conversational pieces.
Yeah. For this weird esoteric project.
It's a very weird. It's called a micro-credential course.
Yeah.
It's not a proper course. It's a micro-credential course.
I don't know. Ben says words and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm speaking to I don't know, consultants who are working for management, then talking to academics. It's like you have 3 people talking 3 different languages.
Yes.
It's very weird. Yeah. Anyway, so it's
maybe once you start, I'll understand what you're doing.
No, I've started it.
But you haven't taught anyone yet, right? You haven't had any conversations.
I've had conversation pieces already. I've recorded the conversation pieces. Yeah.
What, with one-on-one or?
No, you can't. See, this is the weird thing. They've asked me to do conversational, but
lectures. One-way conversations.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I know.
So you're like, hey guys, like this. Like,
yeah.
Hi, I'm Ben. Today we're going to be talking about...
Yeah, but just imagine that there's people there, but not a lot of people. Just a few people.
Hang on, but it's all live sorry, it's all recorded and then they listen to it online. It's all online?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I think...
Why wouldn't they just call that a lecture?
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I actually think that educational facilities have done a pretty good job over the last 4,000 years of their existence since, Aristotle. So I think the university system kind of knows how to teach things on the basis of having a teacher and a class.
Yeah.
Yeah. The consultants don't think...
The consultants.
The
consultants.
The consultants.
Yeah.
The consultants, they have a different view of how things should be taught.
Okay.
Mm.
So you've done a recording of your conversations?
Yeah.
Is it exactly like you do it as a lecture?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you have a one-sided conversation? I mean, wouldn't they imply if it's a conversation that you have to be talking to somebody?
Yeah, that's the thing. So, I've done seminars before.
Yeah.
And I've done lectures and shoots. I prefer a seminar model. It's like a lecture for a little bit and then talking and then, Yeah. So, I think that's really good, but you need someone else in the room to bounce ideas off. It's hard to do that on your own.
So you just you set up your laptop like this and record like that?
like this, yeah. The recording actually is really good in my garage. Like, it's really, really good. The sound quality is excellent.
Do you pause to add videos and stuff, or?
It's slides, but slides shouldn't have too many words. So the slides should just have pictures.
Interesting. How many people, do you know how many people are listening? Or enrolled?
No one's listening. No one's enrolled.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the course has to be completed first, and then it'll be released to the world.
But you're getting paid like 50 hours, right?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
How many hours do you think you've spent on it so far?
About 50.
It's always way more, hey? I feel like every contract you get, you double it, and you never get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and, I'm obviously not getting paid lecturer rates as well. So it's...
Still, it's good for the resume.
Yeah. Yeah, and I enjoy actually making courses like this. Like, it's cool. Having a...
Have you been able to reuse some of your other stuff?
Rework a little bit, yeah. Yeah, so...
1001 stuff and things like that.
Yeah, some Sacred Feast stuffs as well, and, other things. Like, lots of stuff that I've used at ACU that I've developed on my own. Like, it's cool to use that basis of knowledge and build on it. Yeah, it's fun.
Alright, and we're going to do a podcast next week, right?
We are. Or we may not. We'll see. Something will be released to the listener.
Yes.
Listeners.
The listener. Well, we're having a conversation.
More listeners.
I feel like we're doing conversation style.
Yeah, we are. I don't know. What else? So
I had funny stories to tell you that I was waiting for this, but I can't remember them. I've got one funny one, but I don't know whether I should tell it to you on camera, on recording.
On the camera?
On the camera.
It's alright. People won't see this.
I think I'll tell you later.
Okay, alright, you can tell me later.
Just to annoy everybody listening.
Yeah, leave them on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might share it.
I did see a good movie, which I think you would like, but you will never see. Do you want to know about it?
I saw a good movie too.
Oh, really? What good movie did you see?
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, I liked it too.
Oh, you saw Star Wars?
Mm-hmm. I did a double feature. I saw this film and I saw Jojo Rabbit, the other film. I think you'd like.
I don't ever see that film.
Why not?
No.
Why not? I knew you were going to take this tone.
No.
Tom and I had bets on it.
Yeah.
So why not?
No. Why?
Yes.
Because no one needs a fucking, lovable friend called Hitler.
It's not about that. I knew you have a problem with this. You don't understand irony. You don't understand the comedy, how comedy works. It has been compared to Life is Beautiful, so maybe you should check it out.
He killed 6 million people.
It's not about that.
What? Okay.
And it's very critical, obviously, of Hitler. It's critical.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's about people the children that were joining those, horrible military Hitler camps and stuff like that. And the main character, I don't want to spoil anything, but he meets a Jewish girl and they become close friends. And it's about friendship.
Oh, okay.
So it just happens.
Life is Beautiful is amazing.
Exactly.
Just as a side note,
but this has been compared to it. So give it a chance.
Mm.
Taika Waititi is playing Hitler, and it's an imaginary Hitler that this little boy is conjuring up as he's being told to do all these horrible things in these camps and these militia camps and things, and it's a way for him to cope, like using humour.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like Life is Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you'd like it, but I knew you'd be like.
Well, it's not that.
Hitler.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Lovable Hitler. Jeez.
It's not about Hitler being lovable. It's about his imaginary version of Hitler, and it ends up not being. He ends up fighting against it. He's like, I don't want to listen to you anymore. Like, it's all about the child. It's not really about Hitler.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because children were really I think they were young people being given weapons and not knowing what to do and being fed all this horrible propaganda and. I think it showed how easily, how manipulated young people were around that time as well.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting thing.
Not many people look much into that, I don't think.
Yeah, there's some philosophers that have done that. The whole aspect of what totalitarianism is about. Yeah, But you're right, in popular culture, they don't generally look at it. It's more, they always show, the Aryan 20-year-old or 30-year-old, and they're happy to do it, and that's what it is. But... there was old ladies and old men.
Yeah, but this character's 8 years old. It's dealing with people that are around under 10.
And then the war ends, and they're like, what do you mean there's no third Reich? That's why so many of those, Berlin Nazis were willing, those kids that are in those last photographs of Hitler existing, they're willing to give their lives for the Führer.
Yeah.
They grew up in that Third Reich. They understood him to be...
Yeah, he was like a superhero. And then all the posters around are of him being a superhero. You can just tell that they were totally misguided, and it's just... I thought it was really interesting. I hadn't thought much about just how young they were and all that responsibility they were being given and, given weapons and not really... And all the... Part of the... Not the humour, but how they viewed all these weird theories they thought Jewish people had, obviously the horns and all these weird theories they were bats, the little boy was like, the bats, they hang upside down, all these just crazy things, and it's just they really tried to dehumanize completely. And then, people are like, oh, you'll know a Jewish person when you see them, and obviously they can't. They're just people. So anyway, I think you'd really, really like it. Taika Waititi is such a good director. And he's playing Hitler as well, and with this weird Kiwi German accent. And have you seen the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd like it.
Right.
But I really like Star Wars. I liked it a lot.
Let's not talk about any spoilers.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can't really speak about anything. Yeah. I would like to do the plans this year.
Have you been watching Mandalorian?
No, I'm going to watch it with Jack.
Really good.
So so I've seen the first episode and I was like, okay, Jack and I need to watch this together. Because I've seen every Star Wars film for the last 4 years, I think, with Jack at Christmas. So I waited until I could see it with him. So I only saw it last week.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Avoided all spoilers up until that. But I sort of guessed where it was going anyway, and pretty much...
I heard critiques about it beforehand, so...
with stuff I've taught before on Rogue One, and how the balance of the
You
Force...
thought or taught?
Taught.
Taught about?
Rogue One. Yeah.
Rogue One? What about? You mean in lectures?
Yeah. Yeah, in Taoism.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so teaching the force as a balance, and then how that influenced the what are they called, the
Temple of the Jedi.
Yeah, that temple that Chit Inwei is part of. The the guy that says, "I'm one with the force, and the force is with me."
You don't mean
the blind guy?
Jediism?
No,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Chit Inwei in Rogue One, the blind guy.
Tom would know. I don't know.
He's the guy with staff, and he walks around. He's like, "I'm one with the force. The force is with me."
Yeah.
And he is a seeker of the wills or something.
Tom hates when I talk about anything to
Really?
Star Wars because I'm so dumb about it. I'll be like, "So you know that?" And he's like, "Stop!" Every time I try and
Something of
think
the
about
wills.
it.
It's going to annoy everyone if I don't say it. So
Mark
sorry.
will know. I'll just wait for Mark.
Just excuse the typing.
All right, I'll do the interlude. Anything else that's happening?
I'm pretty sure it's
I left my
Ancient
job.
Order of the Wills.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the Ancient Order of the Wills, Chit Inwei, he is a balance of the Force. He's not Jedi, and he's not Sith. Just recognises that there is a balance.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, yeah. Get it?
Oh,
Joke.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so comparing that to Taoism, I think it's an easy way to teach people about Taoism.
Yeah, I mean, there's already the link. I mean, Temple of Jedi is full of Taoism ideas
and
Star
it
Wars
was taken from Lucas,
exactly.
but then not actually implemented. So based on that, I guessed what things were sort of going with the new movie and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, we can
It's good.
discuss more about it offline.
Yeah, and maybe do a Star Wars episode in future.
Or get Tom on to do it with you because I seriously am such a noob, and he would just be listening the whole time and like, just ruining it. So
all right, so we do.
It'll be too dumb.
Star Wars with Tom, Pokemon.
I can do Pokemon. I've just played the game.
Okay.
I spent like 40 hours playing it.
With you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's two episodes.
Tom wants to join the 501st again. Buy his armor back.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, well, this spare time you don't have.
Wow.
So he might.
How is he going to do that?
I'm going to say this. He's going to get upset. He cried at the end credits.
Yeah, that's
And whatever is that the Imperial March or something? I don't know what song it was. Star Wars song.
It was because
this is why I can't do this with
the
you.
end. Okay, all right. Okay. So I'll talk about it later. Anyway, yeah, that'd be cool to do.
Yeah, he got teary, and Tom doesn't cry much.
Mm.
I thought that was cute.
I understand why you'd cry in certain parts of the film.
But at the end credits,
Yeah.
overrun with emotion. That's why he's felt so inspired. He wants to join the
who would have
501st.
known that Darth Vader was Luke's father? Like,
I know,
just
crazy. All right, I think
amazing.
I think we're done.
All right, well, hope you all enjoyed this episode and recap of 2019. Review of the Fires. Do you want to give the Fires a rating out of 10?
Wait, can we rate the year? Because didn't we do that?
We're going to rate the year. Okay, so let's rate the year.
All right, I did not have a great year. I don't know. I just felt very stressed. I think
I had a worse year than you, though.
Yeah, definitely. Your year was worse.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give my year, I think I've already rated it a 6 out of 10. So like just a little bit better than average, but not a lot.
I think my year was a fail.
Yeah.
I
think when I asked you about it, you said like 1.
Yeah, 1 or a 3 is usually my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there has been some positives.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been a baby.
Jodie's pregnant.
A baby.
Good. Yeah. I learned how to do cold brew coffee, which is not hard.
Yeah.
But
It's still pretty cool. I want to try one when I'm there.
Yeah.
Can you put milk with it?
Why would you do that?
I don't like coffee without milk.
No, you will.
No.
Yeah, no,
We'll see. I bet I won't. I bet I'll drink it and go,
nectar of the gods.
Right.
It's the gods' juices.
Okay, so
which is always...
So what's your rating for the year?
What?
What's your rating for the year?
I was talking about god's juices.
Yeah, okay. What's your rating for the year?
Like a 4.
4? Well, that's better than I thought. I would have thought you'd given it a 2.
Yeah, got an arcade cab.
But 2020, right? It's going to be the year, Ben. Shit's going to get better.
Don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Not for you, but for me, I'm hoping.
Yeah, probably for you. No,
why not for you? Come on, be positive.
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
Okay. And then we'll generate the Fires out of 10?
Yeah. Go on.
Well, they're not really like...
I think we have the best fires in this country.
Yeah, that's true.
We exemplary fires.
They're ferocious.
They are wildfires. Like
they get in California's fire, they just punch it into dust.
Yeah, suck that.
I'll give the fires a 10 out of 10 in intensity.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
more intense than Trump killing a Iranian.
Ooh, maybe save that for another episode because that's pretty prickly. Another thing that I don't know.
Yeah,
much
let's talk about. We'll talk about World War III when it comes up.
But true.
We'll do an episode on that. Maybe it might get listened to as much as my Brexit episode. Speaking of, we didn't speak about the election at all. The British election. Yes. Guess who guessed all of the results?
You did. Yeah, I know that you were pretty stoked about that.
No, I wasn't stoked. I was like, see, I still got it.
Yeah, it's a shame that there's only like 14 listens on that episode.
Yeah, and the people that listened to it disagreed with everything that I said.
That's true. That's okay.
That's all right. Yeah.
So, all right.
All right, let's leave it there.
I hope everybody's safe out there.
Yeah.
From the fires.
Hope we don't get too many complaints about this episode about being too jovial. About fires.
Oh, really? You think that's possible?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think we're that jovial.
No, I don't think anyone listens. All right.
Bye.
Bye.